I personally believe I can understand a pro-life argument for personal and religious views, except on a legislative level, I cannot fathom a good argument as to why there should be restrictive legislation over abortion.
Cool. So I'm curious, do you think there should be legislative restrictions on someone murdering their 2-year-old?
I do believe that, yes. Except I don't believe that life starts at conception.
Okay, got it. So that's where I was going to go. What is the moral difference between a 2-year-old and a 20-week baby?
A 20-week baby or a 20-week
fetus? A 20-week baby in the womb.
I believe
and
that...
just so we're clear, fetus means offspring or little one and only refers to human beings.
I believe that it's not an independent life. I believe that at a certain point in the womb, there's a point where the baby can survive without feeding off of the mother.
Got it. So I have a 5-month-old baby at home. My 5-month cannot feed itself. I'm sorry?
Somebody else could.
No,
when it's in the womb, nobody else can take care of that baby except for its biological mother.
And why is that an issue?
It's not an independent life.
But it is independent because its own DNA, right?
That's true, except it cannot survive on its own. It cannot survive in any way on its own.
Well, at 21 weeks, it can survive actually on its own, and it has. And increasingly,
20.
Right, so 20 or 21 weeks, our technology is allowing it to happen. Okay. But why is viability worth? For example, if someone gets in a car accident and cannot survive without a ventilator, should they be able to just pull the plug? They can't survive on their own.
Do they have any ability to choose for themselves?
No, they're quote-unquote brain dead.
I mean, well, we have do not resuscitates for that.
What if you don't have a DNR on your driver's license?
You would have to live, I guess. You would be forced into that, except I don't necessarily disagree.
Wait, hold on. So our laws are default to forced live. So then why would our laws not be default to forced live for a 10-week baby or a 15-week baby?
I don't think there's any independence. There is no freedom of a fetus or a baby.
What do you mean by freedom?
It cannot survive on its own.
Right, but again, my 5-month-old cannot survive on its own. I keep on going back to that. Surviving on its own is a non-medical technical term. And so let's go back to at 8 weeks old, you have brain waves. At 6 weeks, you have heartbeat. At 10 weeks, they can feel pain. At what point is that not a human being?
At what point is it a human being?
You tell me.
I don't think anybody knows. That's why I don't think
well,
there should
our
be
position
legislation.
is that it's a human being at the earliest possible point of development when your DNA is formed. So you, as you are right now, are still developing. How old are you?
I'm 17.
So you're 17. Your brain will not stop forming till you're 25 years old. And so when you were conceived at conception, that begun the process of development. And as long as that process largely goes uninterrupted, you become a full adult.
I am not biologically dependent on anybody for survival. I need people to survive.
But you were at 6 months old.
No. A fetus...
But
a 6-week fetus, if they're removed from the womb, they will die no matter what. There's nothing that can be done about that.
Yes, but that does not diminish their moral worth. Under no other standard do we say just because you can't survive on your own, you are okay to terminate. That rule does not exist. So they'll say brain death. That's interesting. So brain death. Do you know that people that are quote-unquote brain dead, women, still have their periods? Are they really brain dead? Do you know that someone who's brain dead, if you cut into their arm, their adrenaline spikes? Do you know someone that's quote-unquote brain dead will respond differently on brainwave type stuff? Even though there's only slight no brainwave, the heart rate will increase if a loved one comes near and start talking to them. In fact, maybe there's more to life than just brainwaves. Maybe we're a soul and a spirit that's a lot deeper than just what you can detect on some sort of SPECT scan.
To say that, though, is religious. That is a spiritualistic idea.
Well, hold on. First of all...
I believe that to be unconstitutional if legislated.
Hold on. There's a lot there. But first of all, God is in our founding documents. Yes? Mm-hmm. God is mentioned 4 times in the Declaration of Independence. Mm-hmm. Right? And to say that something is not religious is also a religious statement. So somebody has to win here. But I'm not even going to get into that. I want to ask the 2 just morally defining questions.
Oh, no, I'm all right.
Should it be illegal if a woman finds out her baby has Down syndrome? Should she be able to abort her baby based on that information?
How far along is it?
25 weeks.
I'm not sure.
How about this? If a couple finds out that they're having a girl and they want a boy, should they be able to terminate that fetus?
I think legally, I don't think morally they should. Except I don't think that's the government's decision.
Hold on. All laws are a reflection of our morality. Why should abortion laws be any different?
They should be a reflection of our morality.
What morality is that?
What do you mean?
What is the moral standard that abortion law should reflect?
Freedom.
Freedom. Okay, so do you have a freedom to kill someone smaller than you?
No, but
Then-
if they're dependent on you for life, if they cannot be outside of your body without surviving,
I like to collect.
But I'll ask one final question here. What species in the animal kingdom is the fetus?
a human.
So if it's a human, shouldn't that human get human rights?
I don't know. I don't believe there is any.
But shouldn't you get human rights even if you can't survive without another? Shouldn't you get human rights even if you're small and that you happen to be in utero at that moment?
I don't know. I can't come up with a response to that.
Well, hold on. Guys, hold on. I want you to think about that, and I want
Can
you
you
to
ask it one more time?
No, yeah, I'm not trying to. It's not a gotcha here.
Yeah.
I'm literally because I said since it's a human being in utero, shouldn't that human get human rights, even though it's dependent on another?
Because I feel children don't have the full human rights as an adult.
Well, hold on. They do have life with the
They do
protection
have
of life.
but they don't have the same human rights as an
Of
adult.
course not. But they
Their
are.
parents make decisions for them.
Yes, but it never is it morally permissible to be able to terminate a child or rape a child or steal something from a child. So the moral standard does not go away. What you're getting at is they don't have the privileges of adults, but they have the same rights as adults. Abortion we have carved out in the Western moral standard where none of our other morals apply. We believe that all these things are wrong for grown adult humans, but not for small humans. We think that small humans that happen to be temporarily located in utero don't get that. For example, size should never determine your moral worth. Location does not determine your moral worth. People in Flagstaff don't have more human rights than people in Cincinnati. Your environment does not determine your moral worth, nor your degree of dependency. If degree of dependency determines your moral worth, all of you guys that are asking your mom to Zelle you more money or asking your mom to send you more cash to pay your cell phone bill, you're all dependent on your parents. The point is this: we do not judge whether or not you can live or die based on your degree of dependency, your size, your location, or your environment that you're in. Human rights are equally applied to all human beings despite those factors.